Amy Bradley's story has captivated the nation. The Netflix documentary, Amy Bradley is Missing, has garnered tens of millions of views. Viewers are so curious about what happened to the 23-year-old, how she could have just vanished without a trace from a packed cruise ship.
Around 5:30 in the morning, I saw Amy on the balcony. 6 o'clock, woke up again. She wasn't there.
He said, I've been looking for Amy, and I can't find her.
We check every inch of the ship.
Captain came in.
He says, the FBI have searched. Your daughter's not on this boat.
So what happened to Amy Bradley? Well, her family has never given up hope, and this morning we're honored to have her brother Brad joining us. Brad, good morning to you. Thank you for your time this morning, and our hearts go out to you. Might I just start by saying I think everybody at our network and who's watched this documentary that I've spoken to just really feels for what you all have gone through. Let me start by asking you, what has really helped you hold on to hope that your sister's still alive?
Hi, good morning, Julie. Thank you for having me. I think all three of us have continued to hope, and it's largely, a gut feeling. I don't know how to explain it to people much better than that or make it make sense, but, we've always felt, each one of us individually, that Amy's still alive. The simple fact that we've never received any, concrete information or news that tells us that she's not, other than, the time frame being so long ago.
Mm-hmm. What was Amy like, Brad?
She was amazing. Been described many times as a life of the party. She was an athlete. She was a multi-sport athlete in high school, and got a full basketball scholarship. She was funny, very vibrant, full of life, and always a great sister and friend.
Would you say that the documentary portrayed her pretty well?
Yeah, I don't know how much they spent portraying her as a person. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of time spent on her sexuality, which was an incompletely told story. She actually was dating a guy at the time of the cruise, or the months leading up to it. So I think it shared some insight as to what type of person she was and the things that she was interested in, but it wasn't really the full story, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask you about that, please, Brad. What exactly is the full story? Because we saw as the final episode was closing, a woman who said that she was a girlfriend of Amy's shared this message in a bottle, this beautiful love letter that some may perceive as perhaps a suicide note, the way it was written, the way it was asking for forgiveness about something that happened in their relationship. What can you tell us about that, please?
I think the letter was kind of a, forgive me letter for getting caught kissing another girl. Amy was very poetic. She liked to write. She wrote a lot of poetry. I think, there was no cryptic message in that, quote unquote message in a bottle. She knew she was going on a cruise. So, obviously there was a theme there, but, Amy was writing postcards to friends and buying gifts and talking to people about what she was going to be doing when she got home. So there's no room in our minds for any possibility regarding suicide. I think the note was, like you said, just kind of a love letter asking for forgiveness. And I think that, she probably had plans of getting back together with Molly after we returned from the cruise.
Mm-hmm. Brad, was there confusion for Amy with her sexuality at that time?
I don't know. We didn't speak about it a whole lot. Like I said, she dated men and women. So she was bisexual. She had a boyfriend for months leading up to the cruise. They were having a good time. She had written him a letter, telling him that she wanted to kind of take things slow, although she had a great time with him and really enjoyed spending time with his family. I don't know. Amy didn't seem to be bothered much at all by it. We were all having a great time, and there was no struggling or, searching for self-identity. Amy was a very strong person, and I don't think that there was any struggle ongoing.
I appreciate that. Brad, the documentary, as you know, said that your parents were unaccepting of Amy coming out as gay. Wanted to ask you, is that true?
No, Amy came out to myself and my parents in 1995, so about 3 years prior to the cruise. And I guess you could say there was some surprise. I guess my parents had to come to terms with the fact that she wouldn't be, a source of grandchildren for them, as you've learned. Neither have I. But all of that was well gotten past. Amy's girlfriends and boyfriends came to the house. Girlfriends spent the night. Girlfriends went on vacation with us. In fact, Molly was at my parents' house eating Easter dinner with us in 2024. So we were all accepting of Amy. We all loved her unconditionally, just as we always had. And, whether there was a disgruntled ex with an axe to grind on there saying whatever she wants to say, just because a person says something doesn't make it a fact. And I've learned over the past month, especially online, it doesn't matter how many times I refute that nonsense. People are going to think what they're going to think, so have at it. But, we had no issues within our family. There was no contention. There was none of that.
I appreciate it. That's why I wanted to ask you directly, Brad, because you're right. None of us are responsible for anyone else's faulty perception. Let's talk, if we can, please, about what may have happened to Amy. So there is a theory that was put out there in the documentary that many people are thinking about, that perhaps she was taken. What makes you, in your heart of hearts, believe that's what occurred?
Well, for a number of reasons. The first two are that we know she didn't jump, and, never having been willing to go anywhere near the rail at any point during that cruise, we know she didn't accidentally fall off. We also have 3 eyewitnesses that put her with Yellow that morning, 2 from outside the club that saw her go up the elevator with him, and 1 from inside the club that wasn't shared on the documentary. So we know that Amy was in that club with Yellow close to 6 o'clock in the morning. And, we have obviously several credible eyewitness sightings of her in and around those islands, including Curacao, Aruba, and Barbados in the years that followed. And I know for a fact she didn't run away to start a new life. So, the fact that she didn't fall, she didn't jump, she didn't run away, leaves only that one possibility, that she was taken and removed from the ship for whatever reason.
Brad, let's take a look at that photo together. The one I'm going to put up here on the screen so everybody can see it, the one sent to your family, alleged to be Amy, perhaps in a trafficking situation. The FBI used their facial recognition software programs to compare it to an older photo of her. They believe it's her. Can you look at this photo and say with all honesty that you believe with 100% certainty it is your sister?
No, not 100%. I do believe that with all the characteristics that have been compared through analysis of those photos and many other photos of Amy, that it's a high probability, but 100% no. That's certainly the one set of photos over all these years that really kind of takes your breath a little bit. So I can't tell you that I'm 100% certain. None of us can. But it's the closest thing that we've ever seen. And again, through the FBI's analysis of that photo, they agreed that there's a high probability that it is her or was her. Plus it's been 27 years that photo has been around the internet and on news segments. No person has ever come forward just simply saying, "Hey guys, that's not Amy, that's me." I find it odd that no one would step forward after that photo's been shared so many thousands of times. So we're confident that through the analysis that we've had done that is likely her. or was likely her, but I can't tell you it's 100%.
Well, appreciate your honesty, Brad. Back to the idea that you're sure she didn't jump. How about the fact that the little glass table was pushed up against the glass of the balcony, so perhaps she could have stepped on it?
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened. Even if that table was there that night, which it wasn't, and I'll explain further in a minute. Amy's, again, not going near the rail any point during the cruise. She's not going to climb on a table. If she were to get sick, she's certainly tall enough to vomit over the railing. The next several days, when we met with the FBI, myself and both of my parents were separated for questioning, during which time they had us draw where, to the best of our recollection, the furniture on that balcony was. Each one of us individually drew the table where it was, back up against the sliding glass door between the chairs, not against the railing. As you saw the FBI agent on the documentary explain, that room was cleaned before the FBI was able to investigate. And my opinion is that table was moved to support a narrative that the cruise line would like everybody to believe.
Okay, understood. Bradley, I wish we had more time to speak with you. Will you please come back and keep us apprised of any new leads that come? I know that you've had various people reaching out to you, tips. We know that Kim and Khloe Kardashian offered to assist your family. So anything that develops, please let us know. We'd love to have you back and talk some more.
I'd be happy to anytime. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Take good care.
You too.